Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the hot topic of the 21-story building collapse on Gerrard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos State. Here are some of the facts that we know. We know that the governor has since suspended the GM, Mr. Abimbola Agbebiyi, and has also constituted a panel comprising of members of the Nigerian architects, the professionals in the engineering, and I think town planning organizations. And I said earlier that the bricklayers organization are also asking to be part of that panel. So there will be an investigative panel to assess what exactly happened. Now, initially, the suspended GM had also come out early to tell us that the owners or the builder had requested for an additional approval to make it 21 floors, that he did not give them the approval, that they only had approval for 15 floors. He came to tell us that earlier, but the deputy governor was there yesterday, and he did confirm to the news, to the press, that indeed there was an approval for 21-story building. So there's still that conflicting information. We're not sure what's happening, but we have our correspondent there just to give us an update. We also know that 21 people were found dead. So far, confirmed corpses were pulled out. 9 people survived. Of the 9, 2 have been discharged already. And we're still hoping, and I think that there are more people in there, and they're trying to see how we can actually get them pulled out. Bimbo, are you there? Hello, Bimbo? Okay, we're still trying to connect with Bimbo, but let me come to you because, I mean, we're all here when Surfside condominiums in Florida happened back in June. And exactly something similar. I think theirs was 12 floors, 12-story building, and it came crumbling down. And it took about almost 2 weeks for the rescue operations. I mean, because I remember 8 days, I was still saying, after 8 days, would they find anybody alive? I was still worried. I was watching CNN then, I was still worried. But one of the issues we're having today is that family members and friends are going to Ikoyi saying, listen, let us come in, allow us access to go and help because they are complaining about the slow pace of rescue. But we're saying that this situation, we don't want a situation where there's double jeopardy of those within and even the rescuers themselves endangering their own lives. So how do you see the speed at which is being done? Do you think the government is doing enough or they can do more, at least to alleviate the fears of family and loved ones who are wondering if their loved ones are still under the rubble?
One of the officials speaking with journalists was saying at some point when they took a break after 1 a.m., they started to hear voices within. And I was wondering, why did you take a break? They're supposed to be on shifts. So a batch of people had been involved in rescue. They take a break. Another batch continue with the work. It's not supposed to be a break because every second counts at this point. You can just be lucky at some point. It will be the last breath or, you know, at some point that you intervene in that and rescue somebody. Right. I'm just wishing, because this is not the way to go, we're all wishing that this is faster, that there are better machines, and in fact, a magic wand to help people out of where they are. It's not a thing to desire or wish on anybody.
So we'd definitely like to get maybe one of the LASEMA to help us understand this issue of breaks, because let's understand if indeed they do take breaks. Talk about your thoughts on this.
Nobody wants to be in this kind of situation. The family members of these victims are not, it's not even a rational thing. It's a point of, if there's any chance that my family member can be alive, I would love to be able to offer help. And beyond our emotional outburst or our response of thinking nobody can do it like the way I would do it because they don't understand how I feel right now, is the fact that everyone that goes to that site is also endangered, because any slip can lead to the loss of additional lives. And every LASEMA officials have been trained to deal with these circumstances in a way that individuals are not. So there are safety guidelines that the families of these victims of this collapse would not be able to observe. So I would appeal, number one, to all the family members of the victims that they should please exercise a bit of patience, because this is the same thing that happened when we saw the Surfside ones, because many of the family members are just crying, feeling bad, wishing that he just went for site inspection, especially for those that they were investors in that place that just went for site inspection, those that were not, those that went to work there, and every other person. No life is, nobody's life is more important than the other, and this is a huge loss. However, the controversies going back and forth concerning whether there was approval, quality of building, all of that brings us to what we have been saying on Your View. We, the people of Nigeria.
All right, I'm told that, let me pause you for a second, Tokwe, because I'm told that we have Mr. Bashir Garga on the phone, Deputy Director of Operations at NEMA. Good morning, Mr. Bashir. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Good to have you on the phone. So before I even ask for the updates, is it true that your team member took a 2-hour break?
No, it's not up to 2 hours break. There is just a shift. You know, we have to run shift. This operation has been on for almost 2 to 3 days now.
Okay.
So there is fatigue on the part of some of the responders, and therefore we have to run shift. And these machines needed to be refueled, and other equipment needed to be brought in. But as I'm talking to you now, the operation is ongoing. Debris clearance is ongoing.
Okay.
Okay, sir, so we are worried about that break, no matter how small it is, because we have people in that rubble that are still alive. And you know the way things go. Before you know it, the oxygen will be finished and they will be gasping for air so that we don't have more casualties while we're still trying to rescue them. Wouldn't you have... No, I wanted to ask, is there any way you can deploy more hands, even if it's from other states, so that nobody is having to rest a bit and all hands are on deck?
As I'm talking to you now, all the responders are here with various expertise, those detecting life, those ready with oxygen to give in case we find some people in this place.
All right, so let me ask you, sir, because, of course, Nigerians are worried about the timing. I know rescue operations take time. But could you give us an expected time to know how will this be conclusive? Because we're really worried about how long will it take?
We have just blocked the Portigos major road to that place because traffic was obstructing operations and the movement of some equipment. But I cannot be sure when this operation is going to be over. But we'll keep you posted as we go on. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I guess he had to leave.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say that. So this morning on my way to work, I just passed by that place and I slowed down a bit to really observe what was happening. I still saw a lot of people clustered around the environment. In fact, there's a bit of a gridlock when you are, going through that area. And I still see lots of people still hovering around. And I'm worried because I know that when this sort of thing happens, they usually condone that area off so that professionals will have time to do what they're supposed to do without interference from family members and friends and people who have lost loved ones. And I understand that this is a very emotional, if you have a family member there, of course you want to be there. But can we as Nigerians take a step back and allow the professionals do the work? Let's just help them in prayers. And also the question I asked our guy that just called in this morning, that he was a bit, he just responded like that, is something that it's a no-brainer. You get help. If you need to get help from Ogun State or Osun State, all those states that are around to ensure that this thing is being carried out and nobody's taking a break, because people will not understand why you have to rest when there are still people who are likely to die.
So he did confirm that all hands are on deck, so we're just hoping that indeed all hands are on deck. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the building collapse. We're trying to reach our correspondent. Bimbo, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Bimbo. Thanks for joining us on the show. Could you give us an update on what you see so far at the site? Any officials there, and what are they doing right now?
Yeah, it's the third day, and we are still here at the site of the incident, talking about the site where a high-rise building, collapsed, on Monday, killing many and leaving several others injured. Don't forget that 9 victims were rescued alive from the rubble, while at least 19, were discovered dead. Now, we also told you that 3 out of the 9 victims that were rescued were given first aid treatment right here on the site of the collapsed building, and they were subsequently discharged. I also like to let you know that this is the site of the collapsed building this morning. You can see right here behind me. Rescue operations just started. I mean, journalists are not allowed to move close to the site. But And I would like to let you know that the mood right here is still that of despondency. Earlier, I had the opportunity of speaking with people whose families, were involved, in the incident. And then from the information I garnered from them, a lot of them, are still worried. They do not have information regarding, their relation who, of course, were involved in the incident. I saw a lot of them moving around, asking questions, trying to know their fate with regards to, what will happen at the end of the day, talking about some of their relations who they believe are still trapped in there. Also, I would like to let you know, you will agree with me that there have been a number of developments surrounding this sad story since the news broke from the suspension of the general manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency to calls, for more investigations into the immediate and remote causes of this particular tragic incident. You will agree with me that, of course, so much has been happening. Of course, more events are still unfolding, even as we are here. But then the more heartbreaking side of this story is the fact that some people who are here, of course, you can see behind me, those are people whose families, relations, are still trapped in there. A lot of them are angry, and they told me that they believe that rescue efforts put into this particular incident is, are not enough. I spoke with one lady who got here at about 6:30 a.m. She told me a 26 younger sister was trapped in there. I think she's an intern, in one of the offices in there, and then she said she's been here as early as 6:30, but then she sounded, unhappy, and that's because there was nothing happening here at about 6:30 a.m. When she got here, rescue operations had not started. They were just made to sit down, out there. So a lot of them were venting, their anger, saying rescue operations, put into the entire, recovery process, and not enough. That they should, of course, have put into consideration the fact that a lot of them are passing through, going through hard times. They really need to know the fate of what will befall, their relations, who of course are still trapped in there. Now, I forgot to tell you that the remaining 6 victims who were rescued from the rubble in here have been taken to the General Hospital in Nodon, and they are still receiving treatment as we speak. But as I'm standing, we are yet to know if more bodies are still going to be brought out of the rubbles. You can see behind me, activity behind me there is showing that.
For you. Go ahead.
Yesterday, they were able to hear some voices which they traced to find the location of the rescue. Are they still hearing any form of voices of the people inside the rubble?
Earlier, I tried to get that particular information, from one of the emergency responders here, but what they told us is as this morning, the rescue operation team actually walked through the night from what I garnered, and what I was told is that they are still not sure if there are more bodies trapped in there. So we are not even sure if they heard voices, and we are not even sure if we still have more bodies, that are trapped in there. But as at yesterday, 19, bodies were discovered dead. I'm talking about the bodies that were, brought, out of the rubble. And as it stands, we still have 9 survivors, from this incident.
Bimbo, let me ask you this very quickly, because the name Femi Oshibono has been all over social media. He's the owner or the builder, and we need to confirm, has he been rescued? Is he alive? Has he been arrested? We have no update on him. We're just hearing his name all over. Could you confirm to us if he's amongst those that have been rescued?
In there yesterday, one of them, which happened to be a Togolese, and they are still right there in the hospital and being given treatment.
All right, Bimbo, I was trying to. Did you hear my question earlier? You probably missed my question. Let me just ask that again. I said the name Femi Oshibono has been all over social media and all over the news for the past couple of days. He's supposed to be the building owner or the builder. Could you confirm if indeed he has been rescued? He's amongst those who have been rescued so far by the officials at the site? Okay, we can't get. I think we lost her. We lost her. Yes.
When I saw the videos, as we can see, don't look like it's a mission for rescuing survivors anymore. It looks like it's just a case of recovering of bodies, and it's really, really sad. And I cannot imagine how the family members that showed up very early in the morning and seeing no work going on would feel. But here is my take. NEMA was mentioning it off air that, oh, is that the gadget they should be, is that the machine they should be using? You know, many of us from watching a lot of videos and Hollywood has made us feel like there are specific instruments that gadgets, machinery that should be used if you want to do different parts of process of recovery or excavation. And the way this is looking, if there's any human being there, when you... It's just gory. It's just really, really gory. And I feel really sad for what our heart goes out to everyone who's lost someone in that place.
Let me just say something before we go.
For me, Bimbo's account on, you know, people waiting for their loved ones at 6 this morning and rescue had not started. Recovery of people had not started. I don't want to say bodies. At this morning confirms that, you know, they are fatigued and they are on breaks and there are no volunteers to continue the process of rescuing. So the NEMA boss replied us quickly, but the fact is that truly, yes, as expected, they are fatigued. They can't do this work 24 hours round the clock, but they need to have a shift, and that is not been confirmed. From what we heard earlier and what Bimbo confirmed now, there's no shifts. They are on breaks when they are fatigued, and work will have to stop for that. So we need to see continuous work. Aside the kind of machines that we have, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Also, those family members who are waiting and looking at those rubbles are continually traumatized because they've not seen the bodies or confirmed if their loved ones are not on that site. So somebody should be handling psycho, whatever, the BB grammar they like to speak around, managing trauma for them. They should be doing it already for them now. It is not a time for us to sit down while we're investigating this and leave other areas, you know, just laxing. They should be investigating this along as rescuing, as also managing people whose family, loved ones and family members are in that trouble.
Let's go on a break. But I'm traumatized. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take some calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still going to be taking calls on this issue on the building collapse because there's so many factors. Because that we're hearing that it's not just about the fact that the approvals were given or not given, but there are also issues of structural integrity of the materials being used. So we'd like to hear from our viewers. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also send us messages, and on Facebook and YouTube, we're happy to read your messages. Now, what's most disturbing is what our correspondent just told us, that there are people that came in there as early as 6:30 a.m. this morning, and rescue hadn't started, and that's quite worrisome, because what we see or expect is that rescue continues around the clock, and then there are shifts. But the NEMA officer who spoke earlier was saying that all hands are on deck. He did confirm that they do take breaks, but we're saying that, do we need breaks? And even if they're taking breaks, how fast do you expect rescue?
I even have a problem with how the rescue is being done. I do not think we're doing it right. From the video we saw just now, if there's anybody in that rubble and that thing just clips you, it's going to cut off some parts of your body. It's not... I think that we should have found a way to get like a scanner. I don't know. I'm not a structural engineer. It's my opinion, please. It's my opinion. Like a scanner to know exactly where people are and machines that will lift them. Not see. Did you not see that?
But if you
that one,
the scanner will pick up the metals. All the metals are there will be picked up.
Wait now. Let me finish. We have multinational companies here who I believe would have machines that will be able to do this. Why are we not asking for their help? Why are they not suggesting? Why are they not bringing their machines to the site so that we can do this right? I feel the rescue, I feel like it's not rescue, like Tokwe said, that's going on right now. So we need to get things right. If you need help, seek for help. This is not a time to be proud.
It's also a time to volunteer.
Yes, volunteers. You don't wait for them to ask for help.
Let me clarify. So there's a human perspective, a reasonable instinct of how we think it should be done.
We watch a lot of films, though.
And there's a professional perspective on how it's done. We don't know these things, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that there are different areas. We can feel that way. That listen, just pull this thing out, lift it up, and bring Superman to lift it up.
From the movies that we watch,
there's practicality of, I mean, there's realism of what are the equipments on ground,
And
and
also,
what they can do.
there's also the fact that our people might not even be well equipped. So the ones we see in American movies, they have all the gear to protect them in case something falls over. These guys are going in, nothing. So they're also being careful. So let us not compare Hollywood to reality here.
Please, before you come, so when we don't have to wait for issues to happen before we know the right equipment to get for our country.
Certainly.
We have had issues like this severally. There are buildings that have fallen. We've had to go and lift people or rescue people from such buildings. Why is that till now we haven't gotten machines? Peradventure this sort of thing happens. Do we have to wait all the time and lament?
Because we had country like Nigeria.
We lament that we do not have the right machines, we do not have the right training, we do not have the right gadgets till now.
All right, let me take this call. Come to you, NEMA. Good morning. Are you there from Abuja?
Oh, wow.
Hello, good morning. Are you there? Charles.
Hello?
Hi, Charles. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, it's unfortunate. This is a national disaster. I believe... Hello?
You're listening to the TV. I have to cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead, NEMA.
So we've had building collapse in the past that, that should have given us the right experience to learn from. How did we rescue in the Lekki collapse? It was even worse. I think they had more numbers because they had people on site before that one happened. We had the synagogue collapse. All happened in Lagos. So that we have this one now, we're talking about gadgets.
Again.
Also, if you're a company that you have these gadgets, because we know them, those ones, if something happened in their
But our
companies.
producer just confirmed that Julius Berger was on site yesterday. That he was saying. So we don't have all the full, we don't have a 360 view
on this.
But there are people actually helping and supporting the rescuers.
So you have the right gadgets. We shouldn't have caterpillars in yellow doing this. We know the one that, I don't want to mention the company name for branding's sake, that where they go and lease these big machines when they are doing. I know that company, when you drive past them, they have the machines
Can
there.
you call them out?
You know why
Let
I'm
them
saying
help
this?
us.
Because when we had the fire in front of the military barracks in Ojo, it wasn't fire service trucks that quelled that fire. For a fire service to travel from here to Ojo was a journey. It was the military, Navy, and all of them that brought
What year was that?
That happened, I think, 2019. Okay. The fire, the petrol tanker, when the roads were bad, that, that fire that people drove into and it was burning for hours. It was the military that brought out their fire truck, Navy barracks brought out theirs, and some other companies, Pengerson, I think, from the depots that brought out the fire trucks that called that fire. That's what we expect now. Brotherliness, help, love, everything that we need now. Not this kind of slow pace of... We saw Bimbo was there live, and we saw what was happening right behind her. Right. Nobody's managing the people whose family members are there, I say it again. And the slow pace of that work. If NEMA is saying that they are doing anything, it is slow. This is day 3.
Right. Let me come to talk about your thoughts.
So, Festus,
let me pause you for a second. Ibrahim's been holding for a while. Ibrahim from Yobe, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, Ibrahim. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. You're live.
Okay. I think anytime we are neglecting anything that is serious issue. Okay, we are neglecting everything that is a serious issue in our country. The only time we stop become serious is when something tragic happens. In this case, I think the major issue is that we are not looking at what our emergency responses are putting home. You said what you call it, an engineer who is earning less than 100,000 to go and provide a billion.
It's so hard to hear him. Yeah.
So, like our messages from Facebook, Festus Akimboyewa says the collapse of the Ikoyi building that has claimed over 20 lives was predictable and preventable. Sadly, it could still happen somewhere else within our country as long as we continue to ignore the hard lessons from previous building collapse and developers, government, advisors, civil servants continue to cut corners and get away with it. While nothing can bring back the innocent lost lives, journalism and civil society organizations have a vital role to play in tackling the fallout of these disasters. So, for me, this is an issue that we should also talk about, is the fact that this was preventable, this was already spotted, like people had seen that this thing might happen. What can we do to help out?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand.
Build something.
I'm trying to see... I'm not an engineer. Nobody here is an engineer.
So we're just using
the first layer, second layer, third layer, right? And everything that comes out crumbling down.
Yes.
Now, we haven't seen a caterpillar trying to pull down the rope from the corner. No, from the corner of here. So if I have somebody on this floor, and on this floor, and I have a caterpillar trying to bring out the rubble from the sides. Because I'm just trying to reason why they're doing that. Because they don't want to endanger the person that's probably inside here. So what I would have liked is maybe I have a machine that can just lift out floor 1 out. Let's all see floor 2. But that's not reality. So the rubble is all over.
in Nigeria.
But I don't know. When we saw soft side now, soft side, I saw this caterpillar there. They were pulling out like that. It wasn't as if they had something to just lift up floor 1 and see that. So
I think
that's realistic.
They started the pull out like this after a few days when they were done, when they knew it was impossible because they had like gas coming out from the house and all of that. We followed that story. Here is where what my take is. Like we know, these things happen all the time. People, we have enough agencies to prevent these things from happening. We have enough checks. Like it's not a policy deficit. We have material testing. We have building inspection. And what we see being done, and it is my industry, so I understand what is being done, is everybody is trying to maximize profits at the detriment of who is going to end up staying there.
But we also understand that if this had happened in another state, it's probably going to be worse. I mean, if there's any chance for this people to be alive, it's the fact that it happened in Lagos.
So I'm telling you.
It's the fact that it happened in Lagos. So this is probably the best that we have that is on ground.
And it's not good enough. We need to do more.
It's possibly not good enough, but it's the best that we have on ground. Let me take this call from Denmark. Good morning. Are you there?
So sad.
Hello, Dele, are you there? Please, when you call in, listen to me, not the TV. Hello, Dele, are you there? Okay, I think we've lost that call. Go ahead, Nima.
There's something that I must say very carefully. The developer had, I believe, continuous warning. So there was continuous promo as a response to continuous warning. Why do we, when we're doing things, take a warning as bad belle or negativity? Because for the time it took a royalty there, it took prayer warriors there, it took a singer there, there was something you was responding to. That's me thinking now. There was someone saying, check the quality. Check, do you have to increase? And rather than listen to that voice and do professional structural checks, or call an engineer or an expert to say, why is this person just telling me, about me, whoa? Check whether it's true, whether I should worry. You're not taking royalty there to say, see it, when this thing is complete. Why are we...
You see, thank you, Nima. It's interesting that we focused so much on what government is doing on rescue. But the real crux of it is with the people.
Yes, it's with the people.
We the people have built this and regarded the government's warnings and regulations, right? We circumvented it. And also the fact that we have refused to focus on due process. What have we done to contribute to this? Because now it's easy to say government did not, government did not. But we, the people,
as Badbele, somebody must have criticized that building for going beyond the flaws that they are.
They may not a highly connected person. When I say highly connected.
Yes, very, very highly connected. This is Gerardo. This is like, if you have arrived.
Yes.
When you are building in developers' world, if you can build in Ikoyi, you are a big person. So there are many issues for the structural engineer to say we are no longer working, we renounce ourselves from this construction work. We don't want our name to be associated. That's why people said this was preventable. At no point should that building have reopened if it wasn't recertified. And I'm happy with the response of the Lagos State Governor in that before investigation, some people have been suspended that first go and sit down at home. And because until we have such strong deterrents, every other person will not sit up. Can we now let it trickle down to the civil servants? Because it goes beyond, yes, the head should be dealt with, but other people moving the papers around are also culpable in this.
That is all we can take on this segment. We'll continue to follow the story all week, and we hope that more people will be rescued alive. Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.